In this video, I'm going to show you how I created a campaign in Clay that got positive responses from Ralph Lauren and The North Face. As a quick background for this campaign, my client was pretty much a user-generated content platform for consumer companies. So they were able to aggregate all of the content made by other users about certain brands and put it into one platform to make it easily accessible for the brand managers. And it meant that we were targeting almost exclusively consumer brands, which in this case is why we were reaching out to fashion companies. The founder of the company had a really good idea, which was to reach out to different companies that had a fashion collection coming out. It was a kind of a massive event and people were going to be posting a ton about these different fashion drops. And so by messaging the heads of social media at each one of these companies and being like, hey, you probably need a tool to aggregate your UGC, it pretty much allowed us to hyper target the people we were looking for at the time when they needed the tool the most. And I wanted to show you how I built out these specific personalizations within Clay. So the first thing that I did was very simple, which was asking OpenAI for just a list of all of the biggest fashion companies in the world. And it was able to provide me a pretty extensive list of 163 fashion companies that are kind of ruling the scene right now. What I had to do next was actually find their LinkedIn, because all I had was a brand name, and a LinkedIn profile is pretty important when you're starting to run integrations within Clay. So in this case, I just clicked enrich data and typed in Google, and we performed a Google search at scale for each one of these companies using the integration. For in this case, I just put the brand name and then LinkedIn, and for each one of these results, you can see we're able to pop out the LinkedIn page for each one of these companies. And from there, we use yet another enrichment called the enrich company integration, which is essentially an enrichment that allows you to find a bunch of data on a company using their LinkedIn profile. If you click on this, we have a ton of information, including a description, employee count, follower count for each one of these companies. So what I want to do next was actually find the collection for each one of these fashion companies. What is the name of this new collection they have coming out? So I used another Google search integration. What I did was just put in the brand name Spring Summer 2024. And from there, what we were able to do is find the first result for each one of those searches. Sometimes it would pop out Vogue, sometimes it would pop up the actual website, like in this case with Balenciaga, but it was able to pop out a result talking about their upcoming collection pretty accurately. From there, I was actually able to go and use OpenAI to prompt it to tell me the name of the exact collection that was dropping. So using this website text that I found in this first integration, I said, tell me the name of the collection being featured using less than 8 words. If there's not a collection being featured in the website text, then print no. Exclude the words brand names or any permutations of it, and then here is the site data. We're actually able to get the full results from this and pop out the entire website and text very, very easily right here. From there, OpenAI was able to give us a really good summary of what the collection name was called. You'll see that it's pretty much the same thing every time, but in some cases it had a variant, like the narratives Spring Summer 2024, Summer 2024 show. So it gives us the exact name of the collection, which is actually a nuance that's very important for personalized emails like this. So now that I had the name of the collection, I had to find their Instagram account. A very easy Google search integration, just looking for the company name's Instagram, was able to pop us out this at a very high accuracy. However, when you click on the results, it wasn't present in this first section. If you scroll down, you can see here that the first result did not give us any result at all. What I did here was I just added a formula column, which can be done by clicking this in a formula, and it actually gives you an option to use AI to tell the formula exactly what you want. In this case, it said if this first Instagram link is empty, then print the second one. And then it just assumes that if not, print the first one. So we can see that we have now the aggregated columns and we have the Instagram for every single one of these companies. I then realized, okay, for each one of these Instagram URLs, it's all structured the same. Instagram.com/ whatever the company's username is. So I figured I could use another formula to extract that Instagram profile. So in this case, I just said, take the characters after the third slash and before the fourth slash in the final Instagram link, and it was able to pop out the Instagram at a completely perfect accuracy. From there, all I had to do was use another formula to add an @ in the beginning to simulate the actual handle, and voila, we now have all of that company information for our personalization. But next, we need to find people who work for these companies and get their emails so we can actually reach out to some people using these personalizations. From there, we use what was called a people table. A people table allows you to find the people that work for a specific company, more specifically, the companies that are in another Clay table of yours. So if you click new table, scroll down to find people, you can actually use an old table to find the amount of companies in that old table, and then go to the job title section and then type in CEO, CMO, whatever job titles you're looking for, and it'll load up all of the people who work for those companies that have those specific job titles. I did that in this case, and they all mapped out right here for each one of these fashion companies. So we have 249 total people that it gave me a result for. And what I did next was I used what was called a work email waterfall. This is another enrichment within Clay that allows you to find somebody's work email with more than one data provider. The problem with using one data provider is it's not always entirely accurate, but in this case, it is. So it uses 5 to 6 different data providers and looks for the email every single one of them, and only charges you credits for when it actually finds a correct result. So I was able to use this waterfall of different email providers and pop out a validated work email at the very end of the waterfall. So now I have 173 out of the 249 people's emails and all the information I needed to run the campaign. So from there, all I had to do was upload my campaign to Smartlead and get rolling with with all these personalizations that I built out for this specific copy. These micro campaigns can be incredibly effective and actually have better responses sometimes than campaigns that are sending out to thousands of people in terms of response rates. If you want to try Clay, the link to doing so is in the description of this video. Happy prospecting.